Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and this is Elite Dangerous. I'm here with Commander Cobra Commander, and you may remember that I left him here previously at the end of the last episode I did with this character, and I mentioned how I sometimes like to drive the SRV out from the base just to complete a couple of missions. Now these bases are really nice, they're lovely to drive around, and you can actually get up to some rather neat tricks around them, and I'll show you that another time. But what we're doing today is heading out into the desert just to look for some objects that I can use to complete the mission. Now keep in mind that this is a starter account. I've only got around about 100 or 200,000 credits on this character, so finding these missions is a good boost to my wallet. These missions are easy to do and easy to pick up if you're only just starting out with Horizons. All you have to do is just drive around looking for some points of interest, and they do crop up fairly close together, so you don't need to do extensive driving. But if you're on a planet that's got fairly good service and you can get a good grip, then cruising around can be quite a pleasure. But that said, the entirety of the episode is not going to be about driving around on this planet's surface. In a few minutes I will get to Commander Obsidian Ant, where we'll take a look at one of the latest community goals. And that goal is particularly interesting because it's to construct an outpost for the Canonn Research Group. And I'll go into more details on that in just a moment. So here's the first occupied crow pod then, and we can take 2 of these. We've got room for 2 inside our SRV here. And that's good because each mission only needs 1 crow pod, and that means I can complete 2 missions, both of them with a fairly reasonable payout. So like I said, that will give me a nice infusion of cash. Now the Sidewinder is quite a capable ship, but with the money I'm building up I'm going to be able to buy a Cobra, and that's going to be quite pleasing, I would have thought, to Cobra Commander here. Talking of snakes and snake-like names, Frontier ran a paint job competition last year, and the Medusa paint job you can see there in the image above actually won it, and that was meant to be put into the game during the release of Horizons. Hasn't actually happened yet, and I'm going to ask Frontier just what's going on with that, because I think it would be a lovely thing to see in the game. And here comes my Sidewinder. Time to return back to base after a brief stint out on the planetary surface here. I've collected 2 crow pods, and that will enable me to complete both these missions here. I'm still a little way from being able to afford the Cobra, although we must remember I've got quite a bit invested in the Sidewinder here, but I do want to be able to buy a reasonably decent spec Cobra, so maybe in the next video. But right now we're going to head over to Commander Obsidian Ant and get into that community goal for Canonn Research. For those of you that don't know who Canonn Research are, they are a player group that has spent a heck of a lot of time investigating the unknown artifact. And indeed, the whole purpose of their group is to investigate the alien involvement within the galaxy and all the other unknown things going on within space. With that in mind, they've managed to get a community goal going that will enable the creation of a research outpost. And for this to happen, players are going to need to mine some palladium and deliver it to the station that's going to be doing the construction. So here I am in my ASP after having returned to Neville Horizon. I've just returned the Vulture and outfitted this ASP for a little bit of mining. The system we need to go to is Verity. It's only about 7 jumps in this ship, but it's probably going to be significantly more if you're in a ship that has a lower jump distance. It is after all about 180 light years away from my current location, but then it will depend on wherever you are in the galaxy at the moment. The station in question is orbiting this lovely Earth-like planet there that is already inhabited. You could see a lot of these cities down on the surface there, and as I approached the station I was considering the best places to go and mine. Now fortunately for me, fortunately for all of us, a guy called Ben Ryder, who's actively involved in a lot of community stuff, has posted an extensive guide on the Elite Dangerous forums. I'll link that in the video description below, and one of the main features there is that it tells us exactly where we can go in the local area and mine some palladium. It's just 31 light years away, and it's the 8th planet in that system. Momentarily I'll bring up a system map, but first I just want to pick up this community goal. And all this information here gives us some backstory, which goes into quite a bit more detail of the things I've just explained a moment ago. The tiers themselves seem to be very low at the moment. They don't seem to have unlocked too much, but still early days. There's still a few days left to go. By the time you watch this video, there should still be 2 full days left on the community goal, and perhaps we can get some of the additional services unlocked on that station or that outpost. Now this is the system that I'm going to go and do some mining in. Not that one, this one here, and again it's linked in the video description below. There's also a couple of other systems you can head out to. This particular one, it's the 8th planet we need to go to, which is a ringed gas giant, and it's the inner ring on that one. There's 2 rings there. We need to make sure we go to the right one. That's got pristine metallic rings in it, so there's a good chance there that you should quite easily be able to find palladium. Unfortunately, in this case, you're not going to be able to go and buy palladium from another station and deliver it here, because the stuff does have to be mined. There's also a secondary community goal going on here, and that one is to defend the miners against piracy, which generally means just go and collect bounty vouchers from anywhere in the local systems here. I didn't actually check that community goal, so I don't know what tier level that's at, but the rewards there might be significantly higher in terms of cash, but they wouldn't contribute towards the unlocking of the services on the particular station that's going to be built. Now, the construction of outposts of stations and various things like that seem to be becoming a fairly common thing within Elite Dangerous, and I think this is absolutely brilliant because it does bring the community together in quite a nice way, and it does of course give the player group a little area that they can call home. Now, Frontier have always said that they don't want guilds in the game, and they've always said that they don't want player-owned stations. I don't really want to argue the rights and wrongs of that, but it seems what they're coming up with here is a halfway decent compromise. And perhaps in the future, players can get some additional bonuses from being the faction in charge of a particular station. But even with these nice little touches, Elite does still do a lot of crazy things. Just as I was setting up this shot, the Python decided to come and ram me. Here's a local pirate, and he was scanning me to see if I had anything in my cargo hold, but it seemed more like he actually wanted to get inside my cargo hold and take a look for himself. It's a bug that's a long-standing, and I don't think there's any signs of it being fixed anytime soon. Unlike these asteroid fields though, which some of them still look quite nice, this one's actually not too bad. But in patch 2.1, these are all going to be updated with a bit of improved graphics, lighting and additional effects within them, such as fog and things like that. And that's something I'm really looking forward to, because I really do enjoy flying through these asteroid fields, especially in virtual reality, which is no doubt something that a whole lot of other people are going to be experiencing over the coming months. So yeah, the sooner that patch turns up, the better. It didn't actually take too long to find some palladium here. It was ultimately on about the 5th or 6th rock that I actually started shooting at. That said, it didn't actually contain a whole lot of palladium, but it's a nice little start. I'm not perfectly equipped for mining. I just wanted to jump in and help out with this community goal a little bit. This ship can only deploy 2 collector drones, but that seems to be more than enough for the moment, although if you're going to spend a significant amount of time out here, you'll probably want a few more than that. I was tempted to come out here and mine in my Imperial Clipper, but that's stored quite a long way away at the moment and doesn't have all that good a jump range, to be honest. Maybe next time. If you're interested in helping out on this community goal, have a look at the information in the forum links below. I'm sure Canonn Research will appreciate all the help they can get. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time. Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Exploring Elite Dangerous episode 43. Touring the galaxy has enabled me to see all manner of planets and landscapes. This one in particular had some absolutely stunning canyons and gorges, which you got to see in one of my Distant Worlds expedition videos. This, however, is an area that I didn't get to show you, and that was slightly out of the impact crater there with its canyons and various mountains. I discovered this Martian-esque ridge, which provides a stunning vista.